Mr. Getta, you and your colleagues released an appeal to the Russian people in which you stated that you do not consider them responsible for the military aggression against Ukraine. This was before the events in Bucha. Has your position changed now?
No, not at all. You know, I don't think that Germany, I mean, the German people, women, men, were responsible for the crime committed by Hitler. I don't think that during the French war in Algeria in the late 50s, 1950s, the entire French nation was responsible for the torture organized by the French army in Algeria, and so on and so on and so on. I don't take entire nations responsible for the actions of their leadership. If somebody is guilty, I'm sorry to say so, but this is Mr. Putin, and certainly not the Russian nation.
Continuing this theme about responsibility, how do you think responsibility for such tragedies should be established, and which way, if you claim that the Putin is the only who is guilty for these crimes?
All the verifications are underway, or will be on the way in the coming days. The facts are already terrible, but of course we have to check the facts and to get more and more proofs and evidences. But unfortunately, I am not a judge. I am not the International Court, but unfortunately, apparently, the facts are there, and they are terrible. Terrible, certainly yes. And about the responsibility, again, I am not a judge. By profession, I'm a journalist, and now I'm a member of the European Parliament. Politically speaking, I know that Mr. Putin is responsible for everything, because everything happening in Ukraine, because he decided this war. He decided this war, nobody else. Nobody else. It was very clear when he organized this meeting of his Security Council, and everybody have seen the manner he obliged everybody, military and so on, spies and, okay, all the security and military apparatus to support his own initiative. It was very clear on TV, on the Russian official TV. So this is the war is his responsibility. When you decide a war, you are responsible not only for the war, but for the consequences of the war. And the consequences, we know what they are.
I'm sorry, can you please say more specific? So you don't share responsibility between those who start the war and those who support the war?
You know, morally speaking, you can think that those who support the war are also responsible. Well, you can think that. But this is not my perception of the situation. You don't have any free media. in Russia. So it's very difficult, not for a young person living in Peter or in Moscow, among intellectuals and well-connected people, but for the majority of the population living in small cities, very far away from Moscow and Petersburg, and even from Nizhny Novgorod. Это очень, по-русски, это очень трудно для этих людей понимать ситуацию. And I will shift to English again. I'm sorry.
Why we speak in English?
No. It's too difficult for me because я забыл всех слов. And I used to speak Russian rather well, but now it's too difficult for me.
Okay, step by step. Next time, a half of interview will be in Russian.
Okay, no. So I am not again, for the third time, I am not a judge. I am not God, and you are not a judge, and you are not God. And I know that a president, the head of state, decided the war, is the main responsible person. Is.
Okay, does Russia, in your opinion, have a moral right to participate in such structures as the UN Security Council and so on?
You know, as a journalist, I'm specialized in international relations. As a member of the parliament, I know what is the organization of the United Nations. You can break down the United Nations, but you cannot change the rule. You cannot change the rule. And so if you don't want to break down the United Nations, and I wouldn't want to do that, certainly not, you have, unfortunately, to accept the rule, even if they are unfair and unlogical. And so this is a pity. Of course, this is a pity. I would like to put a blame on the Russian leadership from the UN, but it's not possible because Russia has a veto power in the Security Council. And so we cannot do that. So let's forget it. Let's forget it. We are very sad about it, but let's forget it.
Okay, and how do you think, is it partly the fault of European politicians who were cooperating with Putin for decades?
I was always very shocked by Western leaders or former Western leaders accepting responsibilities and money, because the money goes with the responsibilities in big Russian companies, because it was not a free offer. When you accepted that, you accepted to smile, let's say like that, to smile to Mr. Putin. And so I was always very shocked. But I don't think that this attitude of those people was important in the present situation. Not at all. Not at all. It's, morally speaking, extremely shocking. But I don't see any real political consequences.
But there were so many other crimes happening inside Russia. Those crimes you, as a European political, maybe have never heard about. And we see this sort of boundary, like right after Putin starts war and he starts killing thousands and thousands of people, it's not okay.
I didn't hear you because I couldn't accept that.
Yeah.
I know a lot, and I'm not alone. Certainly not. we are a lot of people inside this parliament, because I'm speaking to you from the parliament now, and at least 100 people, and probably 150 know quite well, rather well, and sometimes perfectly well, the situation in Russia. And we don't know everything, of course, but you neither. And but generally speaking, of course, we know about the killings of journalists, of opponents, and the judiciary pressure exerted constantly on the people, and so on and so on. No, we are not ignorant.
Okay, last question. What can your colleagues, the politicians in European countries, do to end this war?
But you know, the only person who could stop this war in the coming minutes, you know his name. It's Mr. Putin. Mr. Macron, the German Chancellor, and so on, they cannot stop a Russian war. They can fight politically and economically against this war, of course, and they do. And they do. The European reaction was very strong and will be stronger and stronger. Not strong enough on my eyes, but nevertheless, it was extremely strong. And, you know, your president got two surprises in this war. The reaction of the Ukrainian people and of the Ukrainian president, who is incredibly courageous, is a real Churchill in this situation. And the second surprise for Mr. Putin was the European reaction, because we were completely united and very tough, unusually tough.
Okay, sir, the only thing I'd like to add that I've never voted for Putin since I got my right to vote. And it was, maybe it was my bad luck to be, since you say that it's my president, he's not my president. I've never voted for him, ever.
Both, absolutely, me too.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Mr. Getta.
Thank you to you.
Thank you, and bye-bye.